Hi there. So in this video I want to explain the difference between increasing and decreasing. So in order to set this up, all I did was I chained 8 and then I just did zigzagged across 2 or 3 times with 7 single crochet. So nothing out of the ordinary. So I'm going to show you how to increase because it is much easier than decreasing. So basically when a pattern says increase, it'll show you in the written pattern as INC, which basically just means you are increasing the total number of stitches in that row or round. So right now we have 7 across and we're going to increase it to, let's say, 10. So if we want to increase it to 10, we need to add 3 more stitches to this row. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to single crochet into that first stitch, just like normal. Let's pretend that this pattern called for 2 single crochets in a row and then an increase. So an increase means we are going to do we're going to do a single crochet in that hole. And remember how we talked about once a hole has been used, it's kind of stretched. We're actually going to go back into that same hole and put a second single crochet into the same spot. So we've essentially turned 3 stitches from the previous row into 4. So we did 1 in the first one, a second one in the second, and then 2 of them in the third. And then let's say we do another single crochet. I'm just making up a pattern as I go, and say we need to increase again. So we are going to go into that stitch. We're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to go back into the same hole and do a second single crochet. And then let's say the pattern calls for 1 more, and then an increase again. That last stitch is always the tightest. So there's 1, it's been stretched just a smidge right in there. We're going to go back in and do another one, and then since I'm at the end of my row, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. And just to double check that we have in fact increased 3 times, we should have a total of 10 stitches when we go across the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to single crochet across the top to show you that that is in fact the case. So we got 1, 2, 9, and there you have it, 10. So that is increasing. And you can see here that it's kind of fanning out just a little bit. So now what I'm going to show you is decreasing. Now decreasing is a little less obvious. I mean, in the end you are decreasing the total number of stitches. So let's just say we want to go back down to 7. So we were at 10, now we want to go back to 7. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a similar sort of thing. I'm going to do 2 single crochets and then I'm going to do a decrease. I'm going to do another one, I'm going to decrease. So similar sort of pattern. Once again, just making this up just for demonstration. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do single crochet twice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease. So in order to decrease, you're going to take this stitch and you're going to merge them. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start a single crochet, and instead of wrapping around and pulling through 2, you're going to stop and you're going to go and start the next single crochet. So you're going to go in, pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to grab, you're going to pull through all 3. And you have now taken 2 stitches and turned them into 1. So I'm going to do 1 more single crochet to the next stitch, and then I'm going to do this decrease again. So I'm going to go in to that first stitch, don't finish it, start your next one, have 3 loops on there, grab, pull through all 3. Okay, and then I'm going to go, and you can see that that one's been stretched. I'm going to go to the next one. And then we should have 2 stitches left, 1 there and 1 in the end, and I'm going to decrease again. So this will be my 3rd decrease. So if my math is correct, if I've started with 10 and decreased 3 times, I should be taking 3 stitches off to make a total of 7 in the end. So we're going to start it, go into the next stitch, pull it up, we have 3, wrap around, pull through all 3, and then single crochet or chain 1 to go up. Then just to double check that our math is correct, I'm just going to single crochet 7 across the top. Okay, so we got ourselves 1, 2, 6, and in that last one is 7. And then chain 1. So what I'm going to do, and kind of show you what this looks like. So you can see that I started with the 7 single crochets. Let me flatten that out a little bit. And then we increased to make 10, so it widened, and then we decreased down to make 7. So we kind of made this little kind of hexagon looking pattern there. So the reason why we do increases and decreases is because they really help us with three-dimensional objects. So for example, if I take my little Yoshi here, you can see his cute little nose. He starts out little, he gets bigger and bigger, and then it comes back down. So you can see that I must have increased to get to this fat part, and then I decreased to come down. Or even just looking at his cheek. You can see here I started with a little bit with that magic circle, it's in another video, and then I increased and then increased and then increased to create his cheek. So there's lots of reasons why we do increases and decreases. Sometimes it's just a matter of wanting to make like a zigzag pattern on a blanket. So there's lots of different patterns that use increase, decrease. So whenever you are looking at the beginning of a pattern, make sure that you are aware of the stitches that are being asked of you, and that way we can fully understand and not reach any sort of difficulty when reading a pattern. So I hope that helped, and on to the next one.